Joining us now is a great American patriot, Bret Weinstein. Bret, welcome to the program. Brent, you have a major event this Sunday that we are supporting any way we possibly can. Remind our audience all about it.
Sure. Great to be with you, Charlie. The event is Rescue the Republic in Washington, D.C. We're meeting on the Capitol Mall in the shadow of the Washington Monument at 12 noon, and it's going to run till about 7 o'clock in the evening. We have an incredible lineup of speakers, including Russell Brand, Bobby Kennedy, Tulsi Gabbard. Walter Kern is joining us. He's a late ad, but an excellent one. In any case, go to the site, jointheresistance.org, to see the full lineup, to see the 8 pillars that are the values around which the gathering is arranged. I think it's going to be spectacular. It's hopefully going to be a moment at which we move into a new era, rescue the Republic in hopes of saving the West.
Let's play the trailer here, and I want everyone to attend this Sunday. Everyone, if you are especially in the D.C. area, get in the car, go there. Let's play cut 174.
2020 is the code for healthy vision. It is also the year we were given the eyes to see.
The great Oz has spoken.
Today, the curtain has been pulled back to reveal the liars at the levers.
Pay no attention to that man behind the curtain.
They are masters of deception, hell-bent to divide and conquer.
Some radicals on the far right.
It's not just the far left wackos.
Like magicians, they use the art of redirection to keep us distracted as they trick us. Nearly every war we have fought was initiated by their propaganda.
Iraq's weapons of mass destruction are controlled by a murderous tyrant.
As their empire of lies is collapsing, they are becoming increasingly desperate and dangerous.
Russia, China, and Iran have announced the 3 nations are seeking to strengthen ties.
The alliance that's been formed should chill us all to the bone.
Their reckless war games have united a deadly alliance. Everything we have fought for, everything we've earned, and everything we love is under attack.
Terror suspects at the southern border since the beginning.
At what point do we say, enough is enough?
Every single principle on which the West is based is under simultaneous threat. We must defend the West.
Bret, tell us more about that. Under simultaneous attack, is it fair to say that this is the future of Western civilization will be decided in the next 40 days?
I think there's a strong case to be made that it will. We've already seen attacks on all of the foundational principles that protect Americans, and I do not think it is a stretch to say that if the Republic falls, that the West will collapse alongside. I don't think it can be argued that the attack on all of these foundational principles could possibly be an accident. We see similar failures across the West. We have a problem, for example, with effectively an open border here in the U.S. We see similar problems in Europe. And although it's very difficult to know who is driving this and what their actual objective is, it is pretty clear that something finds the rights of the citizens of Western nations to be inconvenient and is targeting those rights for destruction.
The lineup is extraordinary, and it has Bobby Kennedy, Jordan Peterson, people that would not typically be partners or members in such a thing as this. Talk about the idea of rescuing Western values and how this is almost super political. This is above politics in some ways.
Yes, I see this as completely apolitical, post-partisan, non-ideological. This is a simple matter of whether or not you regard the West as the way forward. And by the West, I should be clear, the West is an agreement on a level playing field. It is not an agreement on equal outcomes, but it is an agreement to distribute opportunity as widely as possible and then allow people to draw on their strengths and to better their situation through insight, through hard work. And this is a tried and true method. The fact is, the United States pioneered this style of society, and anyone who saw it realized that it was so productive and vibrant, dynamic, that anybody who saw it wanted a part of it. And so the American experiment became contagious, and it spread across the world. And we now see elements of it everywhere. We see it in the Far East. We see elements of it in Africa. It is literally the most contagious idea that anyone has come up with. But it does pose a threat to those with illegitimate power. It poses a threat because citizens have actual rights, and that means there are limits to what can be done with them. So we now see experiments across the West in reducing those rights, in excuse making in which rights are violated, and we're told that there's a very good reason that they must be. But at some point, we have to make a stand, and we have to repel this attack on Western civilization.
There are 8 pillars here. The military-industrial complex versus the war is always last resort. Let me just read the 8. Sanctify and recodify informed consent. Banish state media control surveillance. Enact a rational border policy. End lawfare and abuse of the justice system. Secure monetary freedom. Restore family sovereignty. And return to truth-seeking and open dialogue. Bret, you look at the combination of people coming together, that last one, restore truth-seeking and open dialogue. That is not a value in the New Left, and is to have open dialogue. In fact, you'll have many speakers that might have differences of certain opinions, but that doesn't really matter. And that's not what this is about. This is a unity event to resist the idea, to resist the idea that they're saying speech doesn't matter. In some ways, this is to reclaim the utility that we have a free society, the mechanisms that we can then come to some approximation of truth.
Yes, nobody knows what the truth is ahead of time. We get there through processes that allow us to go down blind alleys and explore ideas that turn out not to be right. But nobody has the oracle that tells us which ideas are true, and it is therefore absurd on its face that anyone wants to dictate what is misinformation, for example, and then either silence those who are speaking about it or downregulate them in social media. We find out what's true by having disagreements, and if we're wise, we track those who have been successful at predicting outcomes, events, factual patterns. That's what the university is supposed to do. And unfortunately, the university has become a kind of religious order. And worse than that, it's a religious order that has not stood the test of time in its current form. It has received wisdom. It feels entitled to lie to students and to the population at large about what the facts might be. And the fact that it may tell itself that these are noble lies is immaterial. We simply need an institution that is seeking the truth wherever it may lead. And without it, we are like a plane that is flying with a blindfolded pilot. It can go on, but only so long. Eventually it will crash.